Peace. Peace is above all things. Hey, it's you! I didn't expect to see you here in the administrative district. How have you been lately? Great to hear. Since the Stellaron crisis subsided, Belobog's been feeling a little more cheerful. We're really grateful for your assistance. And yes, things are going well for me too. Thanks for asking. You spent so much time in Belobog on your last visit. You must have passed by here before, right? This is Belobog's History and Culture Museum, built more than 600 years ago. Last time you visited, it was closed for its 10-year renovation. Now that the Stellaron crisis is over, we've been able to allocate more manpower to the renovation works. The museum should be open to the public again soon. It's just... we encountered a problem during the renovation process. The Silvermane guards are doing all they can to figure it out. Sorry. I shouldn't talk about it in the open like this. Hey, why don't I give you a tour of the museum? We can talk inside while I show you around. If you have time, that is. Great. What are we waiting for? Welcome to Belobog's History and Culture Museum. As you can see, after nearly 100 days of renovation, the interior looks brand new. However, there's a problem that needs to be resolved before it can open to the public. The museum was established nearly 600 years ago as a memorial to honor Alyssa Rand, the first Supreme Guardian, and the martyrs who gave their lives in the battle against the invaders from beyond the sky. As time went on, new exhibits were continually added to the memorial until it became the museum we see today. Past the reception hall, you'll find the General Hall, the museum's largest exhibition room. There are all sorts of exhibits on display, paintings by famous artists, samples of the planet's crust. Visitors can experience the essence of Belobog's culture in just a few minutes' time. I really hope the museum can open up soon. The children here need a culturally enriching environment, especially those from the underworld. But like I mentioned earlier, we're in a bit of a bind. We could really use a helping hand. Here, this is the issue we're trying to deal with. Wow, you're quick. Yes, this exhibit was stolen just recently. It was one of the oldest and most precious items in the General Hall collection, the meteor fragment. It is said that 700 years ago, the invaders from beyond the sky descended upon the surface of Eurillo 6 with a meteor shower. The meteor fragment is solid evidence that those invaders once tainted our land. Sorry, the tour guide in me gets a little carried away. I'm not here to give you a history lesson. Still, it's no exaggeration to say that if the meteor fragment isn't recovered, the museum will lose half of its significance. Out of the question! As the curator of the exhibits here, I would never resort to deceiving the public like that. Our first priority is finding the thief and recovering the stolen item, but we don't even have a suspect yet. That's why this case is such a conundrum for the Silvermane guards. Truth be told, the meteor fragment isn't the only item that was stolen, but we want the museum to open as soon as possible. We can worry about the other missing items later. Of course! I wouldn't ask you to start a whole investigation from scratch. The guard station in the underworld reported that some suspicious characters have been meeting at a hideout in the Great Mine late at night. Since the Silvermane guards are still getting situated in the underworld and we don't have any direct evidence, we haven't been able to apprehend any suspects. But if you were to go there yourself and ask around, I think we could gather a lot of useful intel. So, would you like to help solve this case? Excellent. Just as I expected. Short, sweet, and decisive. To the underworld it is, then. The conditions here are so rudimentary. I wonder how long those people have been living here. Back to the investigation. We contacted an agent from Wildfire. Apparently she has some first-hand intel. I think her name was... Sweta? Yes, that's right. Let's go pay her a visit.
What? Oh, it's you! Oh, I thought I'd been discovered. Let's try not to make a commotion. You never know who's listening.
That bad, huh? How many exhibit thieves are there?
A lot. I don't know if you're aware, miss, but any intel that makes money spreads like wildfire in the underworld. Travel between the overworld and the underworld has been open for some time, but not everyone down here can take advantage of that opportunity. The majority of underworlders have to stay here to feed their families. From what I hear, smuggling museum artifacts is a lucrative enterprise. If I wasn't working for Wildfire, I'd be tempted to get in on the cash myself. Not for certain, but I've heard some rumors that might be of interest to you.
I'm all ears.
Firstly, the group in question has a very public presence. They post recruitment notices all over the street. If you can find a notice, you might be able to glean some clues from it. Secondly, they're rash and careless in their work. They've been seen carrying large crates of illicit goods around the mines and selling them out in the open, without even trying to hide anything from the miners. Thirdly, I heard there are children in the mines that might be involved. I haven't had the chance to look into it, but keep an eye out.
I see. Thanks for the intel. I'm sure it'll help us crack the case. Well, I'm going to head for the settlement and see if I can get more intel from the locals. In the meantime, do you think you could head out and look for more clues? We can compare notes when you're done. I'm counting on you.
My daddy made a lot of money this month. He bought me lots of new clothes. Things you can't even find in the underworld. Clothes schmoes. My daddy bought me a super rare present. He got me a model tram. Bet you haven't seen one of those before. That costs way much more than boring clothes.
Sounds like their parents bought them expensive gifts recently. If people in the underworld want to get rich, what options do they have? This is noteworthy.
Welcome, customers.
I want to protect everyone. Tell me, Mr. Sparrow.
That'll take more than medicine. Nap time.
Mission command. Annihilate.
Let's be friends.
Naughty child.
I'm on guard. I need to be brave.
Hide.
Welcome, customers.
Time for a shot. Nap time.
We make a pretty good team.
Beep, beep,
What are these two doing sneaking around?
beep, beep. Alert, alert. Nosy person spotted. Nosy person spotted. Beep, beep. Protect the goods. Protect the goods.
I want want to protect everyone too.
Help me, Mr. Sora!
Lance ablaze! Lance forward!
Empty. These crates were probably used to store stolen items. Someone left robots to guard them. Looks like I'm too late. Let's look elsewhere. The 3 rumors Sweta talked about all check out. Time to meet back up with Pela.
Oh good, you're back. Did you find any critical intel? I see. Looks like someone is getting the miners involved in this stealing after all. I made some progress too. The miners here said they've noticed some people acting strange recently. A few vagrants who almost never leave the Great Mine have suddenly started making trips to Boulder Town. I asked the Silvermane guard station there to go investigate some places of interest. I hope they find something. Hey! We've got some news! What a stroke of luck! I didn't expect to get a break in the investigation so quickly. Come on, let's go to the Gerda Grand Hotel. I hope this isn't some sort of cover-up operation.
How is everything?
Hey! It's my first time on the Astral Express. I've heard quite a bit about the hospitality of the Nameless. Shouldn't you be showing me around? Oh, so you've noticed. Well, we're hardly strangers. Better to skip the formalities, right? I'm definitely not the first IPC staff member to board the Astral Express. I've heard that the IPC and the Nameless cooperated frequently when Akavili the Trailblazer was still around. I've also heard that the board once considered spending a fortune to buy out the Astral Express and to make it part of their business. However, all their offers were quickly declined. Just between you and me, I think declining the offers was a smart choice. Capital definitely plays a critical role in the universe, but if everything in the world revolved around it, then life would be a lot less romantic. Don't you think?
While devotion to public tasks is a must, this fatigue is somewhat overwhelming. The time I spent with Sister today was temporary, fleeting, momentary, gone in the blink of an eye. In the obscure prophecy of Dream, a star from the heavens has enlightened my path.
Self-preservation. An emanator of propagation clone? How can that be?
A thousand wonders to raise your good omens. Titus won! Well, we're in trouble now. All the best!
Naughty children, don't listen. Nap time.
Defend the weak.
I'm not afraid of you.
Eliminating threat.
I want to protect everyone too. Help me, Mr. Sora. Yeah!
Mission command. Mission command.
Naughty child. That's better.
Better late than never.
I'm on guard. Lance ablaze. Lance forward.
Stay back, Clara. Are you all right?
I'm okay. I need to be brave. I want to protect everyone too. Help me, Mr. Sora.
Annihilate.
Lance at the ready.
Time for a shot. Nap time.
Mission command.
I'm okay. Yeah! A thousand wonders to raise your spirits. Fight as one!
I'm on guard. It'll destroy the space station.
Welcome, customers.
Lance ablaze. Lance forward.
Just a little something. Think nothing of it.
Nice teamwork.
That's better.
Lance at the ready.
Stay back, Clara.
I want to protect everyone too. Help me, Mr. Sora.
Mission command. Annihilate. Mission command.
Let's be friends.
Naughty child.
Thanks. I'll never forget you. I'm okay. Welcome to the I want to protect everyone. Help me, Mr. Sparrow.
Time for a shot. That's better.
Thanks. I'll never forget you.
Hide.
Just in time. Just a little something. Think nothing of it.
Thanks. I'll never... Let's be friends. 1,000 wonders to raise your... Fight is fun!
Lance at the ready.
Naughty child.
Lance ablaze! Lance forward!
Better late than never.
Eliminating threat.
I want to protect everyone too. Help me, Mr. Sparrow. Yeah!
I'm okay.
Mission command.
After 56 seconds, the creature was unable to sustain its own existence and vanished as if it had never been born. The threat is over. Time to get going.
Is it over? I need to get some answers out of Run May.
The meeting of geniuses is over. As for the future of the simulated universe, that conclusion isn't important. What's important is your task. You look upset, correct? I regret my actions. There's no defending what I've done. Time and again, my experiments have fallen short, and they've always yielded predictable results. I made a clone, but it doesn't hold a candle to the Emanator. How should I have explained it to you? I'm not good at communicating with others. Restrained by time and place, its code of life could only be considered an incomplete attempt. I managed to replicate the moment it was born. However, it would soon disappear and be reduced to particles. Like every living being, it inevitably faced its demise as it journeyed towards the end. I find no fault in that. However, even the briefest life should have meaning. I want to know the limits of its capacity. It will indicate how far I've gone in a field completely incomprehensible to me. And it was a minuscule step, just as I had predicted. I did say that if a danger proved too great for you, I would personally step in to confront it. I must admit, I'm not fond of scenarios where everything aligns perfectly with my expectations. An experiment should have its unforeseen twists. That's where the joy lies. Even the most predictable storylines can have their pleasant surprises. I have to admit that these little ones born in the process sometimes move me. I see a human-like response in them. It is a concept completely opposite to that of divinity. They have emotions. Emotions may be either positive or negative. However, the love rooted in the depths of their heart is eternal and unchanging. They're still a long way from becoming geniuses, and are therefore unable to discern whether this love is one of friendship, romance, or familial love. That being said, can even geniuses tell the difference? I cannot, at least. I do not understand what love is, and cannot respond to their feelings. Do you believe my actions were wrong? There's no need to tell me your answer. I just felt like asking the question. How should I take care of them? Perhaps leaving them at the space station is the best choice. Do I seem irresponsible? I'm sorry. I am often at a loss as to how to face my own creations. The effects of the anti-truth serum will also wear off. If others mention me to you in the future, you can answer however you like. Or even pretend you never knew me. After all, your memory of me will soon dissipate like smoke. Over time, hidden truths tend to surface. Past traumas, which I'd rather leave behind, have made me skeptical about trusting anyone but myself. If I do not want a secret revealed, the most foolproof way is to destroy it. The anti-truth serum will make you forget the brief period we spent together. It won't take effect immediately. It is a slow, intangible process, like the sweet fragrance of lotus leaves, plum blossom, sticky rice, and frosting sugar. Perhaps you'll remember someone performed selfish experiments on the space station, but you will no longer remember their identity. Perhaps we'll meet again someday, but you won't be able to connect me with the recollection. That way, the connection between life forms will be erased. Friendships, secrets, grudges, lies, all will disappear. It will make our lives more relaxing. I believe you. Screwlum will stay on the space station for a while longer. He and Herta still have problems they need to solve. As for me, I'm leaving soon and won't bother with goodbyes. Do you still remember the no man's land I mentioned? I'm considering a solo trip back there during my research downtime, just to see how things are. I miss member number 55 reaching too sometimes. She used to always make something delicious for me to drink every time we parted ways. I hope I won't meet member number 4 Polka Kakamond. That would be quite troublesome. Who knows when the next gathering of geniuses will be? Do you have anything else you want to say to me? I find that difficult to answer. I thank you, Miss Assistant. If fate allows and you're interested, upon our next meeting, we could journey to No Man's Land and traverse its tranquil glaciers. Though I suppose it wouldn't be no man's land anymore. What a conundrum. Huh?
New object finders on sale now.
It's getting late. Where to now?
Herita Newsflash. Good evening, Madame Herta fans. This is an urgent broadcast. The great Madame Herta, member 83 of the Genius Society, has been targeted in an attack at the space station. Her current whereabouts are unknown, with no group having stepped forward to claim responsibility. Many Heritors are upset at the ineptitude of upper management, having issued strong protest and condemnation. Herita Newsflash. Good evening, Madame Herta fans. This is an urgent broadcast. The great Madame Herta, member 83 of the Genius Society, has been targeted in an attack at the space station. Her current whereabouts are unknown, with no group having stepped forward to claim responsibility. Many Heritors are upset at the ineptitude of upper management, having issued strong protest and condemnation.
Mr. Scrollum, this was a premeditated attack.
Conclusion: their target was the space station, but their strategies are still unknown to us.
That's right. Which is precisely why we need her. The last to lay eyes on Herta's puppet before the attack was her.
And you are?
This is Dr. Ratio of the Intelligentsia Guild, a delegate from the IPC.
She's only just woken up. Dazed. She may need a few pointers. Ah, we cross paths again. Do you remember me? Of course. Why would you? Memory is such a fickle thing, after all.
Miss Trailblazer, you must have many questions. Please be patient. Asta will explain it all to you.
You probably know the gist of things already. A few system hours ago, one of Madame Herta's puppets was attacked by an unknown perpetrator. We don't know the location of the puppet, and we can't pinpoint its signal. No. The attack happened on a base outside the station, beyond the surveillance camera's range. She's away on a visit. This issue didn't seem to trouble her much.
She received an invitation from the IPC before the attack occurred.
Ah, the technology department. Charming little place, isn't it? Madame Yabuli does possess some semblance of competence, but her subordinates? Oof. Oh, they're a riot. Brimming with enthusiasm, yet utterly devoid of intellect. It's as if evolution halted prematurely for them. They want to start some new collaborations with Herta, and have graciously extended an invite for me to play the role of science consultant. It's delightfully amusing. I can't wait to witness firsthand how these geniuses from the so-called Super Smart Club squander the IPC's vast resources. However, this attack was timed a little too well. I can't help but wonder if someone leaked this information, and the attackers seized the opportunity. Herta's aloof response to these juvenile provocations? Almost as intriguing. What a delightful little puzzle.
I've long heard that you're one of the best researchers in the guild, Dr. Ratio. We are honored to have your assistance.
Save your flattery. Time is hardly a luxury we can squander. To debate the merits of mere mortals in the company of an actual genius? Quite the paradox, if you ask me. Excuse me, you. Tell me, what were you doing the last time you saw that puppet? Don't play the fool. Think.
I think I was...
Oh, right. I need your help with something else. That curio's gone missing, and I can't just forget about it. Go find it for me when you have the time. I'm sure you can manage that, can't you? Let me describe it again in case you forgot. It's alive, but it doesn't have a body. Send me a signal when you see traces of it.
I think she mentioned something important, but I can't remember. If only there were some hints, then maybe...
Anyway, keep up the good work. I need to go out for a bit. Go ask Asta if you want someone to help you.
My memory's kind of hazy. What did I do after that? I think Herta mentioned Asta. That's right. I think I visited Asta.
Let me describe it again in case you forgot. It's alive, but it doesn't have a body. Send me a signal when you see traces of it.
I think she mentioned something important. If only there were some...
Anyway, keep up the good work.
This is what I recall before I met Herta, but I can't remember some of the details. Let me try to remember the conversation with Asta.
A curio that's alive but doesn't have a body. Sorry, but nothing comes to mind. Maybe the researchers at the Departments of Ecology or Insight may have an idea? Hinkle and are around here somewhere. I'd suggest you ask them about it.
Asta seems to have mentioned 2 names. 2 researchers from the Departments of Ecology and Insight.
I saw it. I saw that person disappear. They vanished right before my eyes. Just like that. Step. It was so quick. No traces left. Not even bones.
What do we do? It sounds like he's telling the truth.
Yeah. Whatever. Just let the professionals deal with it. Did you finish your work?
Those despicable villains are distorting the truth online. Ugh! If I discover who's behind this, they're gonna wish they'd never crossed me. A curio that's alive but doesn't have a body? Isn't that just a jinx? Oh, nowadays people call them wubbaboos? Well, I might be the Department of Ecology head, but I'm not the most knowledgeable person when it comes to curios. Adler would be of more help, but he's been investigating some paranormal phenomenon. I haven't seen him all day. I must say, it's a little embarrassing for the space station to be in such disarray while guests are visiting. We've been through a huge crisis and are still recovering. But there are some who are trying to exploit the chaos to agitate the workforce. People are growing more and more distrustful of the management here. It's probably turned into a big headache for Asta, too. Never mind, I shouldn't be telling you this. It's something that we researchers need to resolve ourselves. Pretend I didn't say anything.
Adler. Right. Then I ran into Arlen. Adler was with him. It was at... Adler was with Arlen. They were involved in some sort of incident.
What? He went to the scene alone with Peppy? How could you let him?
Calm down, Brother Arlen. I know you're upset.
We're walking the dog.
We're having a walk.
Like I said, we're walking the dog.
So I'm the dog?
They seem to be hiding something.
Is there something you need?
Oh, really? What a coincidence. We're looking for him, too. That kid sure is brave, running straight to the scene on his own.
No danger. Of course he's not in danger. Brother Arlen, I can't keep this up anymore.
Ugh. Can you leave the talking to me next time? Let's walk and talk. Why are you looking for Adler? A lost curio. I see. He'll be able to help. Careful. The fragmentum in this area is very unstable.
No, not this road. I didn't go there.
Over there! As I thought, he's in trouble. Let's go!
We're in trouble now.
Not a scratch.
Can we talk?
Annihilate.
Nap time.
Hide.
Yeah! Fight as one! Help me, Mr. Sora!
That's better.
Lance forward!
Mission command. Mission command. Annihilate.
Nap time.
Not a scratch.
Just a little something. Think nothing of it.
Hide.
Peppy! Are you okay?
That's me. What's up?
She wants to ask you something about curios. I'll leave you to it. Adler, Peppy's in your hands now. Oh, about that investigation I asked for.
Don't worry. I think I figured something out. Catch you later. So, which curio do you want to know about? That's all you got? Too abstract. Well, there's beauty in the abstract, I guess. Have you asked the Department of Ecology head? Huh, she's not wrong. But that doesn't feel entirely right either.
Huh? What did I say?
Huh. Now that you mention it, I have a wild hypothesis, but it needs verifying. Let's call it a day. Wait for me. I'll be in touch.
Adler seems to have gotten a lead, but what was the information I forgot? And from whom? Let's go over it from the start. I may have overlooked something. Oh, right. Asta mentioned another name.
I figured you'd come to me to uncover the truth. I'm sorry. The situation is very delicate. I can't say anything except that it's a secret mission. Well, how did you know?
Just as I thought, I vaguely remember that Arlen said more. It's related to the thing I forgot. My memories of Arlen and Adler are hazy. I need to remember the other person asked to mention.
A curio that's alive but doesn't have a body. Sorry, but nothing comes to mind. How's it going? Did you find the information you're after? I see. Is that what Hinkle and think? At least that counts as a lead. See? My researchers are pretty outstanding. Just business as usual, nothing to worry about. Oh. After the Legion's invasion, the space station has been under constant scrutiny. Physical damage can be easily repaired, but it takes a long time to heal the wounds in people's hearts. Some researchers have been questioning the management and security of the space station ever since the invasion. Things had settled down a bit with the reconstruction efforts, but the researchers' disappearances have rattled them again. Yes, 4 researchers have inexplicably disappeared in a matter of days. No exit logs, no traces. Vanished. People were just starting to regain their footing after the catastrophe. I didn't want panic to spread, so I suppressed the reports and told the security department to investigate in secret. However, as you can see, it's hard to keep secrets in a sardine can like this. Rebuilding trust is harder than establishing it in the first place. I'm concerned someone's pulling strings to sway public opinion. Anyway, the most important thing is to get to the bottom of the disappearances. That's okay, but thank you for the offer. Aren't you helping Madame Herta with something already? Oh, by the way, I heard about the thing mentioned, and I'll look into it too. I'll find a way to solve the problem for the space station.
So I did consult someone else other than Hinkle. The only thing I remember is that they're from the Department of Insight. The other person should be from the Department of Insight. I need to remember who it is.
Oh, by the way, I heard about the thing mentioned, and I'll look into it too.
So I did consult someone other. The other person should be from the Department of Insight. I need to remember who it is. Identifying that person is crucial. It could be the key to making sense of everything.
Let me describe it again in case you forgot. It's alive, but it doesn't have a body. Send me a signal when you see traces of it.
I think she mentioned something important, but I can't. If only there were some hints.
Anyway, keep up the good work. I need to go out for a bit.
Hey, what brings you here, Rich? It's been so long.
I'm not that wonderful. I'm just okay.
It's all taken care of. As long as the money's there,
It's all good. Here's the account you asked for. It's legit and secure, allowing you to connect straight to the intranet.
Sure. Can I help you with something?
Oh, you flatter me. I'm just a peddler doing a little business on the side. Small scale. Best left under the table. But if you ever make it big in the guild, don't forget your humble friend, okay?
Again? How many times has it been? You're really pushing my buttons.
Here too. My memories are just a jumbled mess of words. Did my memory piece together irrelevant information? Now I remember. The other person is Emily. She was at the base zone. What did Emily say?
I say, what a wonderfully intelligent-looking young lady.
I'm not that wonderful. I'm just okay.
No need to be modest. At my age, you get a feel for intelligence. Though I confess I did hear someone say you were the shining star of the Department of Insight.
Sure. Can I help you with something?
See this material here? People are so inconsiderate. How's someone like me supposed to make out the small print? I'm not getting any younger, and my eyesight is failing. Do you think you can...
Again? How many times has it been? You're really pushing my buttons.
Oh, another smart-looking youngster. Wonderful. It's about time we had some new recruits.
Huh. Asta told you to find me? A curio that doesn't have a body but is alive. Isn't the Department of Ecology full of curio experts? That's got nothing to do with the Department of Insight. However, I've heard of such a species. A colleague who came back from a business trip said that the Cienjo Alliance has life forms like that. Don't get me wrong, I was merely relaying information. I didn't mean I'd help you. The atmosphere on the space station has been getting stranger lately. It's risky taking sides.
The Cienjo species Emily mentioned seems to be what inspired Adler. The disappearances Asta mentioned are likely related to Arlen's investigations too. Now I should be able to tie everything together. The Cienjo species Emily mentioned seems to be what inspired Adler.
I figured you'd come to me to uncover the truth. I'm sorry. The situation is very delicate. I can't say anything except that it's a secret mission.
Just as I thought.
I'm sorry. The situation is very delicate. I can't say anything except that it's a secret mission. How did you know? I see. Could you also tell that Lady Asta was feeling the pressure? I'll be honest with you. It's been tough. The surveillance didn't capture anything regarding the researcher's disappearance. There's only one clue. Adler observed that the automatic fire suppression system was momentarily activated around the time the disappearances occurred. That means that every victim's disappearance was accompanied by some inexplicable fire. When we made visits to the scenes, some of the witness testimony seemed to agree with this. The words they used were spontaneous combustion of the human body.
Have you asked the Department of Ecology head? Huh, she's not wrong.
Huh?
She's not wrong. But that doesn't feel entirely right either. Ah, that's right! They're called Heliobi. I guess you could say that Wubbaboos and Heliobi are sort of like cousins. Both are types of energy life form. Huh. Now that you mention it, I have a wild hypothesis, but it needs verifying. Let's call it a day. Wait for me. I'll be in touch.
Spontaneous combustion of the human body. That is most likely the truth. Let me remember my initial conversation with Herta, just in case. I need to go over it from the start, starting with the conversation I had with Herta.
Let me describe it again in case you forgot. Send me a signal when you see train.
I think she mentioned if only there were some...
Let me describe it again in case you forgot. It's an energy life form. It's alive, but it doesn't have a body. Send me a signal when you see traces of it. That's not the point. I wouldn't be bothering with it if it didn't have something to do with the Genius Society. Anyway, keep up the good work. I need to go out for a bit. Go ask Asta if you want someone to help you.
I commend your stamina for recounting that interminable tale. You must be exhausted. My ears certainly are. So, to sum it up, the last time you laid eyes on Herta was in her office. She sent you on a wild goose chase for some trinket, the curio. After which you knew nothing else until Lady Asta contacted you. If that's the narrative you're sticking to, then indulge me. Who, pray tell, can substantiate this captivating drama? A second-hand account. She wasn't at the scene. Hearsay hardly counts as compelling evidence, now does it?
Affirmation. We can ask Herta herself.
Well, if you lace up those boots and start sprinting now, you might just catch the IPC shuttle in 4 system hours. But as it stands, not a single soul can corroborate her story.
Mr. Ratio, your style of questioning would seem to have a preconceived bias.
Apologies, it's an unfortunate habit of mine. When one is immersed in academic research, skepticism comes far more naturally than belief. It is also the most efficient method, judging from my experience. Seeking answers with a negative hypothesis in mind is still valid research. It can still help us reach the truth. If she is truly innocent, she can clear her name with answers. Based on your story, you met with Herta because she specifically wanted you for an assignment.
I remember now. Back then...
That's enough pretending. Please be quiet. Based on your story, you met with Herta because she specifically wanted you.
If you knew Herta, then you wouldn't find it weird.
Don't interrupt other people. Did no one teach you manners? Based on your story, you met with Herta because she specifically wanted you for an assignment.
I remember now. Back then...
That's enough pretend. Based on your story, you met with Herta because she specifically...
I remember now. Back then...
That's enough pretending. Please be quiet. Based on your story, you met with Herta because she specifically wanted you for an assignment. And the assignment involves a curio that doesn't even have a name. Herta's collection. An endless trove of trinkets and baubles. And yet, she singles out one nameless ordinary curio? It's hard for me to imagine she would treasure one curio so much.
I doubt Herta is interested in the curio itself.
Based on your story, you met with Herta and the assignment involved...
Herta didn't mention the name of the curio. We were talking about something else, and she just mentioned it in passing. However, she did give a thorough description of the curio. I didn't make that up.
True. You wouldn't be able to make that up.
Why do I feel like I'm being looked down on?
And the assignment involves a curio that doesn't even have a name.
I remember now. Back then...
That's enough pretend. And the assignment involves a curio that...
I remember now.
That's enough. And the assignment involves a curio that...
I remember now.
That's enough. And the assignment involves a Herta's collection. An endless...
Sure. But you're the one saying the curio in question is ordinary.
Say what you want to say.
A correct observation, if I may add.
Herta's collection. An endless trove of trinkets and baubles. And yet...
The curio isn't the point. Herta was only addressing it because of its relation to the Genius Society.
I would imagine the curio is the creation of a genius. Affirmation. It holds some special meaning to Herta.
Yes. That seems logically sound. Then you said you asked Asta for help with the lost curio.
Yes, to get more information about the curio. I didn't get a direct answer, but Asta recommended I seek out a researcher who could help.
Then you said you asked Asta for help with the lost curio. However, she decided to hold her tongue until now? So what's the story? Are you full of fanciful fiction? Or is Asta the one hoarding secrets like they're going out of style?
Conjecture. Asta chose to stay silent.
Then you said you asked Asta for help with the lost curio.
I remember now.
That's enough. Then you said you asked Asta for help with the...
I remember now.
That's enough. Then you said you asked Asta for help.
I remember now.
That's enough. Then you said you However...
Mr. Ratio, it's because...
I'm asking her, Lady Asta. Your testimony went out the window the second you started being secretive. However, she decided to hold her tongue until now?
I remember now.
That's enough. However, she decided to hold her tongue.
I remember now.
That's enough. However, she decided to hold her tongue.
I remember now.
That's enough. However, so what's the story? Are you?
Asta isn't trying to hide anything. It's because of her position. Some things shouldn't be said in the open.
What could be more important than Herta's safety?
I agreed for Mr. Ratio to become involved in this. I should consider him one of us. It's okay. You can tell him.
So what's the story? Are you full of fanciful fiction? Or is Asta the one hoarding secrets?
I remember now.
That's enough. So what's the story? Are you?
I remember now.
That's enough. So what's the story? Are you?
The space station has been very distrustful of its higher management ever since the Antimatter Legion's invasion. Another severe incident would further intensify suspicion and cause great internal strife.
Oh. So that explains why Lady Asta approved of my participation. After all, the Intelligentsia Guild's representative wouldn't be linked to the space station, but would still share the IPC's position. They wouldn't be partial to anyone, but would still act for the space station's benefit. Two birds with one stone. Researchers' disappearances, you say? Yes, I've heard the responsibility of sorting out that mess has been thrust upon Arlen, head of the security department.
Yes, I ran into Arlen when looking for Adler.
Adler?
A level 2 researcher. According to the Department of Ecology head, he knows more about curios than anyone else. He happened to be helping Arlen investigate the disappearances.
Well, did he enlighten you?
Adler seemed to have had an idea at the time, but he never contacted me again.
Researchers' disappearances, you say? Yes, I've heard the responsibility of sorting out that. Clearly, though, it bears no connection to Herta's puppet being attacked. Researchers' disappearance. Clearly, though. Researchers disappear. Clearly, though. Researchers disappear. Clearly, though. It bears. Cut the act. You're perfectly aware of the point I'm making.
Correction. There may be a correlation.
Researchers' disappearances, you say? Yes, I've heard the responsibility of sorting.
I remember now.
That's enough. Researchers' disappearances, you say?
I remember now.
That's enough. Researchers' disappearances, you say?
I remember now.
That's enough. Researchers disappear. Clearly, though, it bears no
No connection? I disagree. There should be evidence linking them together. If I review a certain record...
Clearly, though, it bears no connection to Herta's puppet being attacked.
I remember now.
That's enough. Clearly, though, it bears no connection to her.
No. If I recall correctly, Asta said, one of Madame Herta's puppets was attacked by an unknown perpetrator. We don't know the location of the puppet and we can't pinpoint its signal. Don't know the location. Isn't that the same as missing?
She did say that, but then what? You need to provide evidence to show incidents are linked.
There should be evidence. Arlen discovered something odd when he was investigating the disappearances. The space station's automatic fire suppression system was momentarily activated around the time the disappearances happened. Arlen mentioned that each victim disappeared due to spontaneous combustion.
Huh. But there are no signs of a fire anywhere in the space station.
That's what's so odd about it. But this information has an additional layer of importance. This may not be direct evidence, but if the system also recorded the fire suppression system activating when the puppet was attacked, then there's ample evidence to indicate that these two cases are linked.
If these two incidents were caused by the same person, then the suspicion put on you would decrease, provided that this fire suppression record does exist in the system.
We'll see in the main control room. Let's go. Huh? What was that?
Harrider Newsflash. This is an urgent broadcast. I repeat, this is an urgent broadcast. News has finally emerged regarding the attack on Madame Herta. The Annihilation Gang has claimed responsibility for the incident and warned of further activity. The Guild has expressed utmost condemnation.
The gods of the starry skies have abandoned the world. They give no thought to the masses. Only the wounded savior can bathe the world in the firelight of destruction. Yet always there are cowards trying in vain to reject their favor and escape the wounds. Flee then. Flee as far as you can. No matter the distance, annihilation will find you.
This is...
A declaration of war, and an announcement of what's to come. They have set their sights on you. The Legion's impact remains, and the Annihilation Gang is already paying a visit. It almost seems like this space station is more suited for the path of destruction than erudition.
This Duke Inferno Ifrit is a life form that hails from Fatora, a world long since destroyed. His race, the ever-burning fire demons, regard Nanook as their emperor and savior, but the Eon has never cast their gaze upon them.
A group of pitiful lunatics. I like Dr. Primitive's assessment of them. The value Nanook sees in the Annihilation Gang is perhaps far less than one might see in a child who deliberately broke a vase. The fire demons have a cruel temper and instinctively ignite and destroy items. Ifrit is particularly evil and cruel, even among his kin. The Everflame mansion he heads is even the archenemy of the Japella Brotherhood, despite both groups belonging to the Annihilation Gang.
Japella Brotherhood? I've heard that name somewhere.
On the Stellaron Hunters wanted posters, they stand accused of inciting the Japella Rebellion, the uprising that caused the downfall of the Brotherhood.
The Japella Palace crumbled in the scorching flames, and Ifrit's power has grown by the day ever since. Would you believe it would be merely a coincidence? Something similar is about to happen here. Spontaneous combustion? For him, it's as routine as me finding fault in everything. The disappearance of researchers and the puppet were all part of the plan. And after that video will soon circulate. And this station's fate? Flames. Nothing but flames.
The destruction of trust.
I'm afraid more than trust will be destroyed here. You need to start acting now if you want to survive. You, come with me. You have a superior strategy? Pray tell, do we set the two of them loose, turning whispered fears into full-blown pandemonium?
If we did that, we'd be at a disadvantage. I'll stay here and try to contain the news as best I can. Please, investigate the issue quickly.
This Duke Inferno Ifrit is a life form that hails from Fatora, a world long since destroyed. His race, the ever-burning fire demons, regard Nanook as their emperor and...
If we did that, we'd be at a disadvantage. I'll stay here and try to contain the new...
Is that all?
It's getting late. Where to now?
Not good. This is serious. The security department will do whatever we can to help you.
A list of the missing researchers and their details.
Sure, but the security department already combed through their backgrounds and personal relationships. We didn't find anything odd. The Annihilation Gang are a group of die-hard thugs. They might be attacking indiscriminately.
A list of the missing researchers and their details.
Okay.
Take it. Remember these names. Find a friend who's tuned into the gossip around here and tell them you want to know the relationship between these people. I don't know. That depends on your friend.
What else do you need me to do?
Take me to the one who knows the most about curios within the Department of Ecology, if you would be so kind.
He disappeared too. I didn't really notice at first. Adler's difficult to get a hold of at the best of times. But it's been a few system hours, and I still can't reach him. Even the surveillance cameras can't find any trace. The last time I saw him was in the Master Control Zone. He was with Wen Sherling from the Department of Implement Arts.
Lead the way. You said Adler was on the verge of a discovery, yet couldn't confer his knowledge. Intriguing and frustrating, to say the least. If his disappearance is also related to the case here, then maybe he really did stumble upon something.
True. The key words that got Adler thinking were energy, life forms. Duke Inferno is also an energy life form. Coincidence? We need to investigate this.
Jerk! 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 Fine! Disappear! I don't ever want to see your face again! Adler, he disappeared. He's been acting really weird recently. Always researching stuff like spontaneous combustion, supernatural activities. He doesn't even answer me when I speak to him. He was talking to himself.
What did he talk about?
He kept saying the word phrase.
Phrase.
Who said I want him back? But if you want to find him, he was reading this booklet the last time I saw him. I don't know exactly what he's searching for, but I hope it can help you.
Your countenance suggests tragedy. So the researchers who disappeared were at the forefront of challenging management. Isn't that a curious puzzle piece? I finished browsing through this booklet while you were replying to messages. It recorded the lives of a few Genius Society members. I'd say it contains some interesting information. It's time to go back and chat with Lady Asta and Mr. Screwlum.
So that's how it works. Looks good.
Wonders to raise your spirit and fight as one! Can we talk?
Time for a shot.
Lance ablaze! Lance forward!
Nap time.
Lance at the ready.
Protect everyone too. Help me, Mr. Sparrow.
Target threat index lowered. Annihilate. Mission command.
I'm okay.
Mission command.
Reach the end of the story in your own way.
You're back. I've been monitoring the dark web. I barely managed to stop the video from spreading. The incident hasn't grown any bigger, for now. How are things with you?
Less than promising. Or to use a different phrase, we're in deep trouble. We're running out of time. Let's retrace our steps and evaluate the situation. From the data we've collected, there are 3 avenues we can explore. First, Adler's disappearance. He must have come across some vital information. The next angle is what the victims have in common, distasteful as that discussion may be. Last is the abilities of Duke Inferno and the secret of spontaneous human combustion.
The link between the three is...
First, Adler's disappearance.
Adler also.
You think that Adler's discovery drew the enemy's attention?
Indeed, and I already know what he found. First, Adler's disappearance. He must have come across some vital information.
I understand. So the answer is...
Tenuous connections. Enough of this nonsense. First, Adler's disappearance.
I understand.
Tenuous connect first. Adler's disappearance.
I understand.
Tenuous connection first. At the next angle is what the victims have in common, distasteful as that discussion may be.
Distasteful discussion.
A mere glance at their background would indicate they share no commonalities. However, after browsing through their online records, you discover they all wield influence on the space station's dark web. Lady Asta must know what this means. The next angle is what the victims have in common.
I understand.
Tenuous connection. The next angle is what the
I understand.
Tenuous connection. The next angle is what the
I understand.
Tenuous connect. The next angle is what last is the abilities of Duke Inferno and the secret of spontaneous human combustion. You probably already know about this. The fire demon of Fatora, the Duke of the Annihilation Gang. There is another secret with Ifrit. Last is the abilities of Duke Inferno and the secret of spontaneous human combustion. During prior unrest instigated by the Everflame Mansion, some testified to seeing miscreants materialize from the Inferno. The flickering tongues of Duke Inferno's fire carrying a certain property, and this property is the secret behind spontaneous human combustion. Look, the answer is right there. This booklet describes a kind of fire that can phase through dimensions, claiming it burns through worlds, leaving numerous scions of flame behind.
It's the Phase Flame, the creation of member number 29, Serkal. She was an amazing genius, intelligent, kind, and humble. However, she lived for a mere 29 days on the human calendar. Such a pity. The Phase Flame shifted into a different phase as soon as it was created. When it returned to this phase, Serkal had already passed away. It then continued to shift through phases, making its capture impossible.
This booklet describes a kind of fire that can phase through dimensions, claiming it burns through worlds, leaving numerous scions of flame.
I understand.
Tenuous connect. This booklet describes a kind of fire.
I understand.
Tenuous connect. This booklet describes a kind of fire that can phase through dimension.
I understand.
Tenuous connect. This booklet the kindling of this unique flame must be the missing curio that Hurt has been searching for, and Duke Inferno is evidently spawned from it.
Somebody was once able to glimpse the traces of the Phase Flame and obtained a wisp of its kindling. Herta kept it and lent it to Ron May for her research, but the kindling was lost in the process. If Ifrit is a scion of the Phase Flame, then the entire incident is now clear as day.
The kindling of this unique flame must be the missing curio that Herta's been searching for, and Duke Inferno is evidently spawned from it.
I understand.
Tenuous the kindling of this unique flame.
I understand.
Tenuous the kindling of this unique flame.
I understand.
Tenuous the kindling of this unique. I fear that this is the truth Adler discovered. Undoubtedly, the curio Herta asked to find was the phase flame. And Adler already discovered the relationship between spontaneous human combustion and the phase flame through the concept of energy life forms. I fear that this is the truth Adler discovered.
I understand.
Tenuous I fear that this is the truth Adler
I understand.
Tenuous I fear that this is the truth Adler discovered. When Schurling said, Adler kept muttering about a phrase before he disappeared. I believe this word was actually phase. He saw Member 29 Sir Call's research topic in this booklet and verified his hypothesis. As a scion of the phase flame, Duke Inferno would naturally share similar capabilities. Full-on phase shifting may be a bit too ambitious for him, but teleportation, that's likely more his speed. That is the truth of the spontaneous human combustion. The researchers didn't disappear. They were moved. We don't know where the victims went, but Duke Inferno's plan is now clear. And the sudden and consecutive disappearances provided the best environment for chaos to fester. Once the seed of unrest has sprouted, he will then send out an announcement for an imminent attack. It will push the crisis from the dark into the light, catalyzing it into new growth and bloom. The next step would be to ignite the spark. Look at those researchers who disappeared. What would happen if someone realized their similarities? I need say no more.
It was all a premeditated trap to stir up chaos on the space station.
We're running out of time.
This...
No, it isn't enough.
Indeed, it needs one more spark.
What do you mean?
If you limit your involvement to this, there's still room for excuses. If it were me, I wouldn't give you the chance.
Could it be?
Huh? What is it?
Stay calm. Asta was merely teleported. Her life was not in danger. Based on first-hand experience, I have ascertained that Ifrit's flame is simply a splinter of the primordial phase flame, lacking any phase shift ability. Logic. Asta is still within the confines of the space station.
That flame must still be somewhere inside the station. Find it, and we'll find a way to bring her back.
A splinter, you say? The arrogance of the gifted is charming in its own way. Try then if you must.
It seems that Duke Inferno didn't deign to personally grace the space station. He merely cast infernal fire into our midst to wreak havoc among the researchers. When the fire fizzles out, his malevolent plans will vanish without a trace.
I will head to Herta's office and activate the folded space in the curio storage room. With some changes to its parameters, I can use it to block the fire's teleportation routes and seal it inside the station. Mr. Ratio, please go with Miss Trailblazer and contain the fire.
It seems that Duke Inferno didn't deign...